시작한 지 앞도 안 보이는 가시밭길에서도 절대 유턴 없이 철발한 의리로 의지하면서 둘이 딱 붙어갔지. 비극 지금 기가 아프지만 지나고 보면 웃음 나오는 희극. 그래서 우린 지금을 참고 살아. 난 미쳤다 생각하면서 keep dreaming. 희망이란 끈 잡고 살아. 이 험한 현실에서 아직 붙잡아두고 싶은 꿈. 넘고 힘든 삶은 능선에서 때론 포기하고 싶은 꿈. 너와 천천히 오래 걷고 싶어 until the end of.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, everybody. Ernie Johnson here alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. And coming right up, we'll see this home squad playing against the Indiana Pacers. Taking a look at the pace they set last season. No team wants to see that regression. They're looking to turn things around, and we'll see how they do tonight. Pacers had a year they can write off last year, but this year they'll be expected to go deep in the playoffs once again. Kenny, is that asking too much of this team a year after really missing out and just being decimated by injury?
I mean, having Paul George is a huge difference maker, but I think that's too much to ask this team to be jumped back into the conference finals right after that. I think
even in the East?
Even in the East, I think there's a lot of good teams still there, and I think all.
Thanks for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports. It's Wednesday, Hump Day, and we're ready to bring you all the action. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. Last game for the Pacers, a loss to Chicago and the Bulls in the Windy City.
And that result was no surprise because they played very loosely with the basketball.
They sure did. There's no question about it. And when you come out on the wrong end of the turnover battle, you're often going to be on the wrong end of the scoreboard as well, Greg. You know that.
We've got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. On the court right now for the Pacers. Pau Gasol is out there with Hill. Then it's George Hill. Then it's Ellis. And it's Anthony in at the 3-set. So the Indiana Pacers able to put the first points up on the board. Showing off the hook shot.
And he can be devastating with that little hook shot of his.
And so it's Indiana with it.
And one bright note for the Pacers last season was the play of their bench. Adding Rodney Stuckey was a huge boost for them.
Iverson passes to Robertson. That's good. Great play set up by Iverson. Robertson's got his first basket.
Defensively, that possession better not start a trend because they just handed him 2 points.
Here's Hill. Goes back up. Goes up with it again. And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing.
Yeah, good job to take it right at the knee.
Yeah, really left him no choice there, Greg. I mean, he had to foul and keep him from converting the easy bucket.
So many people overlooked Pau Gasol prior to last season. Seemed to think that Clark, he was past his prime.
Well, he was a starter in the All-Star game and a huge reason the Bulls played as well as they did. It was a big season for him. A lot of GMs shaking their head for not going harder after him.
You know, and with Pau Gasol, it was weird to think that the Lakers were just so ready to let him go and move on.
Now here's LeBron. They look to him for part of their offensive attack. Right now he averages nearly 12 points a game.
That's 3 straight shots to fall here to start. Looking good.
Robertson against Hill. And there's the feed to Anthony. And the rejection by Pippen. And that'll be Indiana as it goes out of bounds. Pacers retain possession. Just around a minute and a half into the first quarter. Shots good by Anthony.
And with the skill set that Pau has and the year he had, there's no telling how long he can play at a high level. Again, one of those guys that never been reliant on the athletic ability to have an impact.
Here's Hill. LeBron grabs the miss. Gotten their first 3 shots to go in for him to start off this game. From deep, Iverson. No good. Pacers have gone just 2 of 7 so far. A little bit of a slow start for them. Hill against Robertson. And the rejection by Abdul-Jabbar. If you're just tuning in, we played about 2.5 minutes here in the first. Now here's Iverson. He puts up decent numbers on a nightly basis, averaging about 10 points a game. Outside Anthony, inside, the 11-footer. The shot is off.
And being that close to the hoop, I thought he had enough room to finish that one.
And it's Abdul-Jabbar. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. And he's got his first free throw of the game.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at the line for 2.
The free throw drops for Abdul-Jabbar. Both shots good from the stripe. Indiana trailing here. Outside Hill. Outside Hill. Anthony in the corner. No problems knocking that one down.
And it looks like he might just be on his A game today, Clark.
Gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. James outside. Hill pulls it in.
Most of the time, that shot will go down. Boy, the defenders have to make sure they tag him.
Hill dishes to Carmelo. Some nice passing here by Indiana. Hill has the open look. Offensive rebound. Here's Gasol. Abdul-Jabbar with the block. And the basket by Hill. First quarter of play and just over 3.5 minutes in. Robertson kicks to Abdul-Jabbar. In the corner, it's James. From outside the arc, that one goes. Come. LeBron's got 6 points.
A good open look, and he splashes home the 3.
Hill against Robertson. Pick up by Hill. The drive by Ellis. Plays it up and banks it in.
Don't take your eyes off of him because he can make plays from multiple spots on the floor. Put the isolated cam on him.
Monte Ellis has always had a knack for the big shot. When things are on the line, he is a guy that is not afraid to step up.
And Kevin, last season, he had a number of big second halves and fourth quarters for the Mavs. Really took over that primary scoring role from Dirk Nowitzki. Stole a lot of games for them last season.
1:25 left to play in the first. So the Pacers call timeout, their first of the game.
You know what? They just are in a funk right now offensively. A good time to maybe come up with a play to get them a good look.
Well, most coaches, usually have a go-to speech or tactic that they can use when they need it most. So we'll see if that's the case here.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pacers. Mahinmi's checked in for Hill. Paul George comes in for Pau Gasol. Rodney Stuckey subbed in for Ellis.
Nice start as he's knocked down 3 of his first 4 and has hit the ground at high speed.
And right before Carmelo went down with the injury last season, it seemed like he had added the fadeaway to his game, molded a little bit after Dirk Nowitzki. And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the triple. 4 of their last 5 makes are from beyond the arc.
And, Greg, it's hard for me to watch this. I mean, the defense practically giving them those shots.
Now Irving. He's coming off a 13-point game against Dallas.
Yeah, but he set up shop at the free throw line. I mean, he just could not be defended out on the floor.
Now here's Curry. The lead is 2. Irving drives in. Anthony with the block. The shot and game clock separated by 4. Hill kicks to George. Rebounded by Abdul-Jabbar.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
And here is Curry. The shot is off.
Ladies and gentlemen, dance team.
And before the game, Carmelo Anthony talked about how he prepares himself mentally to kick.
It's easy. It's basketball.
You don't hear too many players, Greg, saying it's easy and they're not too concerned.
Yeah, or talking about possibly winning basketball games. But I have a feeling he's more concerned than he talks about, and when he says it's easy. It may be for him, but it sure didn't look easy for the Knicks last season.
And so far, it's been a closely contested game as we get the second quarter up and going. And guys, what's your take on the home team so far?
It's just been a long-range battle for them, and one that they're winning right now.
Yeah, sharp shooting from deep, a big part of why they're up.
We've got West. Abdul-Jabbar is out there with Bird. Then there's Irving. And it's West in at the 2. And for Indiana, Rodney Stuckey out there with Hill. Then it's Pau Gasol. Then there's Ian Mahima. And it's George in at the small forward position. They set the pick for the 3. The shot is off. Great D that time from Irving. That falls. Nice feed that time from Jerry West. Irving's got his first 2 points.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
Really a prime example of the difference in how these teams have operated offensively. Much more individual play at the other end.
Excellent assist there. Just led him to the perfect spot. And Rodney Stuckey, a combo guard out of Eastern Washington, played a big role for the Pacers a season ago.
Hill, he's checked in for the Pacers. Ellis comes in for Rodney Stuckey. Gone 1 of 2 on 3-pointers here in the second quarter so far. James. But they get it back. Here's Abdul-Jabbar. There's the killer two-handed slam.
And Kevin, the knack for the offensive rebound, a big part of what makes this guy special.
Not to mention, Greg, his ability to finish with strength just like that.
Yeah, he's an invaluable asset for them to have. No question about it.
Robertson, he's checked in for West. Greg, you were talking about Stuckey. He did play well in his first year with the Pacers. Clarkie helped them as a starter and off the bench.
Yeah, really had his most efficient year scoring the ball to date. And more than his scoring and what he brought on the court, his presence in the locker room and professionalism. We talked to the people around the Pacers. He was a breath of fresh air on a team that has a number of fresh air guys.
Ellis goes in, and he makes good on the layup.
Well, they really started to come on here in the second.
Clark, it's about how much more focused they look offensively here. They're trying to make up some ground.
Robertson passes to Abdul-Jabbar. James wide open, and he's good on the 3-ball. James has got 11 points.
No doubt about the consistency when it comes to scoring the basketball for him tonight. A real nice lift for their offense.
That's good.
And a big height advantage right there.
You know, it's tough to bring a big man that far away from the goal, but that might be a mismatch they're willing to live with.
Pacers trail by 3. Gasol, a screen on Robertson. Ellis goes in, and James pulls it down.
And with room like that off the pick, you have got to knock that one down.
Well, you know, they did everything right, Greg. They executed. All you want is a good look at the basket. Sometimes the shots just don't fall.
Now, you know what? I think he thinks he can make a few improvements to how things are going on right now.
Yeah, and you know, coaches always are looking for ways to tweak things and change it up a little bit, no matter what the situation is. That's what coaches do.
Scottie Pippen's checked in for Larry Bird. George dishes to Ellis.
Foul. Oscar Robertson. That's his first personal foul.
And the official signals a backcourt violation. Not very careful there. Let's bring out the 2K leaderboard to see the best up-tempo teams in the league.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the athletes to run the break all game long. So that's their edge. They're always looking to take advantage.
The dish now to Pippen. Here's Iverson. That falls. Nice feed that time from Scottie Pippen. Iverson's got 4 points this quarter.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
That's right. 5 of their last 6 makes were on the interior. They've established their inside presence.
And Gasol gets it to go.
They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividend.
And with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, they haven't had to do much work on the perimeter.
3 consecutive baskets have come right at the rim. The defense had better start buckling down and tightening up.
Guys, they are getting exposed in terms of their low post defense.
Boy, he's really doing a nice job taking advantage of what the defense is giving.
Gone past the three-point line for 13 of their shots. They're 6 of 13. Iverson kicks to Abdul-Jabbar. Here we are in November, and let's see how things are going out east in the early season. A terrific position for them as they hold up that illustrious top spot, but it's a long season, as we all know. And checking out Indiana, 6 games out.
Yeah, and seeing where the Pacers are, this season has to really become a wake-up call for them moving forward. If they didn't recognize before this year that they didn't have the talent to compete in this league, they sure as heck better recognize it now.
Well, I would certainly hope so. I mean, it's been hard to watch this team struggle as much as they have throughout most of this season.
Steph Curry's checked in for Carmelo Anthony's checked in for the Pacers. Hill comes in for Hill. Ellis. Nice pass. Led him to the rack perfectly for the layup. Ellis has got his 3rd basket of the night. Gone 8 of 11 from the field in the second quarter. Really flowing here.
I can... How about that, Kevin?
What range on that shot.
Unbelievable.
That's amazing. This is to Hill. Good. The assist goes to Hill. 6 points for Hill.
That makes it 10 of their last 12 points coming from inside the painted area.
And really something that the defense has to address.
Kicks it out to Iverson. James outside. Hill against Curry. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
And remember, you go back to when Steph Curry was in college, more of a shooting guard at Davidson, but he's worked relentlessly to not only improve his ball handling. But his vision, and now all of a sudden he's one of the most elusive ball handlers in the NBA.
Mahinmi's checked in for Indiana. Stuckey comes in for Monte Ellis. George, and he banks in the layup. George has got his first bucket of the night.
Man, have they been effective at getting the ball inside.
I tell you, we're taking a look at some real deficiencies defensively. I mean, they've given up 5 straight good looks in the paint.
And the shot is good. That's 7 points for Steph Curry. And Curry, certainly, Clark, a magician with the ball in his hands. He can really supply the terrific handle, razzle-dazzle moves, crossovers. He has it all.
He sure does, but on occasion he can be a little loose with it and turn it over some. That's been a focus both by him and the coaching staff. Attack, but do it with precision.
And just another example, Kevin, of how they built this lead, just outworking them.
Greg, that was definitely an effort play right there. You talk about that all the time, fighting to get proper position, then slamming home the putback.
Yeah, and if they can maintain this energy level, their lead will be safe. An excellent display of passing out there, fellas. I mean, 8 of their last 10 points have been assisted on.
And they just keep finding the open man.
Getting better and better. Got that field goal percentage up in the 60s now.
Clark, they've dialed it in here in the second quarter, playing really well.
George against Irving. They set the pick. 2 on the clock. Hits the front of the rim and out.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
And that does it for the first half of play. The home team, they're up by 10. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Bill Carmelo, after this first half of play, what do you believe the team needs to focus on from here on out?
Well, just communication and trusting one another. When somebody get beat, the next guy got his back, and we're just trying to get up and down, get going somewhere somehow. For the most part, we did pretty.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here alongside Kenny, the Jet Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal. We'll be looking back at the game's first half. LeBron James putting in some incredible work. He ended up with 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. He put last game's performance behind him, doing some nice work in the opening period tonight. And that's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway. See you after the game.
The second half beginning in just a moment.
What a game for LeBron. He has 15 points, and the three-pointers have been dropping for him. He's got 3 of them.
You know what, Clark? If you continue to shoot the way he is, he may have to become more of an integral part of their offensive scheme.
LeBron James is out there with Pippen. Then there's Allen Iverson. Then there's Robertson. And it's Abdul-Jabbar in at the center position. And that's the group for Brett Brown as we begin the second half. Gotten a positive outcome on 7 of their 14 three-pointers in this game. Not bad at all. Here's Hill.
Oscar Robertson. That's his second personal foul.
On the wing, Ellis. Iverson covering. Gasol against James. Not enough on that one as it misses. Guys, some great passing from him.
Yeah, it makes it tough for the defense to chase that ball around when it moves that crisply all over the court.
Yeah, everybody's touching it, and you're starting to see the assists pile up because the rhythm is on display offensively.
Hill passes to Ellis. Anthony on the wing, guarded by Pippen. Anthony dishes to Gasol. Gasol missing again.
Right thing there to stay that tight on him and really try to keep him out of his comfort zone.
Tries yet again. Iverson kicks to LeBron. On the wing, James. Over Hill. LeBron can't get it to go.
And guys, no doubt George Hill had it rough last season. He missed the first 28 games with that left knee injury. Came back for 5, then missed another 11 games before his season got going. But you know what? He had one of his most productive years from that point on.
Bird, he's checked in for LeBron. Gone only 1 of 6 from the field in the third quarter. Not how they pictured the half started. Bird outside. From deep three-point range, the long-distance squeeze buried. Bird's got 9. And getting back to George Hill, what a second half of the season he had. He tore up several key categories, Clark.
Yeah, he was bogged down by injuries early in the season. Came back to average career highs in points, rebounds, and assists. Partly because he was finally treated and looked to as a go-to guy, and he thrived in that role.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Kevin, I was able to hear the advice Frank Vogel gave to his team during that last break. He told Gasol that he wants their offense to run through him. When Coach addressed the guys in the huddle, his message was clear. Quote, he's who we want getting the bulk of the touches. He is who we want making our decisions. Clearly, some adjustments there had to be made because the time left for a comeback is quickly running out. Kevin, over to you.
All right, Doris.
Tell you what, Monte Ellis is one of the best second-round draft picks of all time in the league, not just the last decade. I mean, this guy was a 5-star recruit out of high school, committed to college, but changed his mind and entered the draft, where the Warriors stole it with the 40th pick in 2005.
Iverson, no good.
And just because you can make it from outside doesn't mean you need to live there.
Not that far out anyway, Greg. I mean, he can work for a better shot than that.
Hill sets the screen for Hill. Off the pick. And he drops that one in. Getting back to Monte Ellis. Had he gone to college for even 1 year, I think he would have probably been a top 10 pick. But you look at what he's brought to the table over his career. Points and assists, rebounds, steals, playmaking. His production has been astounding.
You know, he's one of those unsung players. He never gets voted to the All-Star game. Never gets spoken about as one of the top guards in this league. But you look at the body of work and you ask his competitors throughout this league, and they're going to tell you that guy's as tough as they get.
The drive by Iverson. And yep, that's going to be a flagrant foul. Unnecessary contact.
And Kevin, that's a pretty dangerous play right there. I mean, I don't like to see a player putting an opponent in harm's way as much as you just saw him do there. Glad they pinned a flagrant on him.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. The officials were all over it. They weren't going to let him off the hook that time. And he's got his first chance at the line here.
And, of course, we'd all like to see his percentage at the line improve, but he just does not have the touch right now. He's in the 60s.
And, guys, it's something that he's going to have to work on more and more because he's still not getting the kind of shooting percentage he would like from the line.
George is checked in for Ellis.
And an open path to the hoop there. Easy bucket. We've seen that far too many times today.
Hill kicks to Hill. Pick up by Hill. George passes to Hill.
And it was the screen there, guys, that freed him up as he ran his man into it.
And then it was all acceleration, GA, to the bucket right after that.
Almost a backboard breaker.
And the highlight reel replay brought to you by Kia. Good stuff on that Kia Slam Cam.
Ladies and gentlemen, dance team.
So it's both teams making substitutions here. Second half here. We're just over 3.5 minutes into it. West dishes to Irving. Outside for Curry. Lots of room. It's rebounded by Indiana.
Yeah, and they took care of business against this group last year, winning the season series.
Yeah, Greg, you're right. They're the better team. I mean, they expect to win this matchup. We'll see if they can take care of business tonight.
Again, missing Hill.
And you know what? He's just not on his game, no doubt about it. Their deficit isn't totally on him, but he has not been an asset for his team.
On the wing, Stuckey. Some nice passing here by Indiana. And George, here we go. Abdul-Jabbar with the block. And that's out of bounds. Indiana will retain possession. Here's Hill.
His touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
Curry outside. Again, Curry missing.
Oh, that's a tough three-point try when you've got the defense right there.
Well, he'd have to be really good to knock down a shot like that against that kind of defense.
From deep, an absolute bomb from three-point range. Curry's got 10 points.
This guy will really make you pay if you leave him enough room outside.
Hill kicks to Gasol. It's back to Hill, and that one's good.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync, tremendous communication and awareness. He's been anything but his usual self this quarter. It's actually been ugly to see.
Both teams will make substitutions.
Julius Erving. That's his first personal foul. Substitution on the court.
Robertson against Stuckey. Outside Anthony. To the paint. Here's Maldini. And he jams it with authority.
And really nothing like a good old-fashioned throwdown to get a team going.
And, Greg, they do need to get going. They wouldn't mind shaving a couple more points off that lead right away.
Well, if the defense keeps giving up easy baskets like that, it won't be a lead for long.
And Irving with a clear path to the hoop. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pacers will take it.
Boy, did they ever make a mess out of that one. A terrible turnover.
Pacers trail by 11. Here's Hill. He's got 6. He dishes it to Anthony.
Yeah, well done to finish that one off.
And that does it for the third quarter. Both teams clicking offensively as we approach the fourth quarter. The home team, they're up by 9. And time for the short break, and stay right where you are. The fourth quarter is coming up next. The fourth quarter just moments away now as we welcome you back. Pacers trail by 9. And a look at the 5 for the Pacers to start the fourth quarter. Paul George is out there with Anthony. Then there's Hill. Then there's Ellis. And it's Stuckey in at the 1. To the inside. Got a piece of it. And taken away by Ellis. Left side, George. And that's out of bounds. Indiana will retain possession. Abdul-Jabbar's checked in for Larry Bird.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
And that's out of bounds. Indiana will retain possession.
Indiana ball.
And stolen by Iverson. Fast break. Here we go. Here's the lob to the hoop.
Wow, the floor just really opened up for him on that possession.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for good offense, but that was just a terrible reaction from the defense.
Pacers trail by 11. It's Anthony with the drive. And the rejection by Abdul-Jabbar. And it's Pippen slamming it down.
And the lead just grows on that ridiculous offensive sequence.
You know, Clark, that dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop.
Yeah, that just added more to it.
And you know, guys, right now, they're starting to flatline, just hanging on here for dear life.
And the wide open shot from Stuckey. Good, the assist goes to Hill. Hill's got 3 assists in the game. Robertson passes to Abdul-Jabbar. It's stolen by Hill. Here's Anthony. And the rejection by LeBron. Fast break, here they come. Oh, and there's the alley-oop. And it's Pippen with the jam.
Boy, the prettiest play in basketball to me. Executed to perfection.
I don't think you're going to get an argument there. Everybody loves the alley-oop.
No doubt about it, unless you're the donkey. Because if you're the dunker, it's great. I don't necessarily appreciate somebody slamming one on the top of my head.
Well, you got to get out from under the hoop if you want to stay away, if you want to stay out of the poster.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
I was able to listen in on what Frank Vogel had to say to his team. He is not pleased with the score and implored them to try to make a push right now, saying, "We don't have time, fellas. If we can't make a dent soon, I'll have to pull the plug." Pretty blunt, Kevin. Back to you.
You know, for Carmelo last season, it was Murphy's Law. What could go wrong did go wrong. After signing Melo to a max deal, the Knicks management expected a bunch from him, but with the new offense and a bad knee, it didn't.
And getting back to
I'll tell you what, he's going to put that one in his scrapbook. Absolutely insane with that dunk.
Well, now they're starting to rub it in, aren't they? Have build up a lead, and here we go, folks. It's showtime.
That was a Kodak moment right there. The more plays they make like that, the more they'll have these guys on the ropes.
For three, Ellis, and it's good. Ellis has got it back down to a single-digit deficit for the Pacers.
Yeah, I think he just sees some things that can be improved and wants to get everybody back on the same page.
And usually that, to me, is a good use of the timeout. I mean, if there's something that he's noticed that can give his team a lift, I think he's got to try to take advantage of that.
Iverson kicks to Pippen. Back to Iverson. Feeds it to Abdul-Jabbar. That drops.
You love it when a big man has those soft hands. Rarely any problem converting that close to the rim.
And it's Ellis penetrating. Oscar Robertson with the rebound.
That's something they need to do more of. Get after it on the glass. Go get those boards.
Clark, it wouldn't hurt. Some extra possessions would definitely help narrow the gap and maybe swing the momentum.
Hill has the open look. Off the mark there with the three-point shot.
All the time in the world to get that one off.
It's stolen by Anthony. Shoots a fader. That one off the back iron and out.
And the fadeaway was the only option he had on that one. Defender there all over him.
Here's Robertson. Good. And it's Iverson who picks up the assist. Iverson's got assist number 5 here tonight.
And really keeping the ball hopping around here offensively.
The last 5 trips they've had have ended with a great pass leading to a basket. They're really sharing the sugar.
Yeah, good tough D there to get a hand up and force that miss.
That's example number 1 of why he is such a strong defensive player and why he has such a great defensive reputation.
Anthony with it. He's picked up by Pippen. Pippen with the steal. And here they come. Here's Iverson. Good work defensively by Anthony. Pacers trail by 13. Pass to Hill. And once again off the mark by Indiana. Gotten it done so far from the field here in the 4th. Going 6 for 7. Wasted no time on that one. And that's 13 points for Iverson.
And the crisp passing has opened things up for them offensively.
10 straight points off assists. That's very impressive, and it also makes the game easy and fun to watch.
Anthony's shot is off. Gotten 7 of their 8 shots to fall here in the 4th. A tremendous offensive outburst. Here's LeBron. It's rebounded by Indiana. Hill's got rebound number 5 here tonight. Ellis kicks to Anthony. Back to Ellis. They need this one, but they recover it. Hill dishes to